Some people are so famous that even the act of dying is a big deal. Get in! For we're heading to a destination all people ultimately share. Death. Prepare yourselves as the most famous deaths in history get deep, fat, fry.
You love the death episode, Scotty. You always doing some kind of death episode. It's always like strangest deaths. I'm like, didn't we already do that? You're like, no, before this we did most unusual deaths. And now it's like most famous deaths. Oh yeah, Paul's repping the Reaper. That's true. Look at that.
Seasons don't fear the Reaper, TJ. Nor do the wind, nor the sun and the rain.
Seems like there's just one member of Deep Fat Fried who is afraid of the Reaper, TJ.
Who's that?
Well, the one bitching about, Scotty always does
too much death.
Why is it going to be death?
There's some more, but Scotty, please. How about episode on Greatest Lives?
You need more cowbell, TJ.
Ding, ding, ding.
You start fearing death, just listen, just isolate that fucking cowbell from Blue Oyster Cult, dude.
Yeah. Just need the cowbell only version of fucking Don't Fear the Reaper.
I bet you it exists. I bet you fucking
cowbell only version. Ding, ding, ding.
Need more
ding,
cowbell.
Ding, ding, ding.
This is the trial and death of Socrates, TJ.
I always thought it was pronounced Socrates because that's how Bill and Ted said it. You know, that's how they Bill and Ted it.
I mean, this guy didn't even exist.
Saying it's fake.
No, Socrates was invented by Plato. This is well known. Socrates didn't actually exist.
That is a matter of historical conjecture.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's pretty much agreed upon by all scholars. The debate
still rages on.
By all Paul scholars that have looked into the issue extensively and found it to be not but a farce.
Socrates didn't exist, just like Diogenes didn't exist. He's just a fucking parable. Plato needed a fucking... He needed a fucking teacher figure so that people would look up to him so he could act like he was passing the wisdom down.
Diogenes totally existed. I'll tell you what Diogenes really was, though. He was just a bum who knew how to hustle people.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I really like dogs. He had a dog thing. Maybe the first recorded dog person in history. So Socrates, or as Paul would say, the Socrates of Socrates of legend.
Socrates
avoided political involvement where he could and counted friends on all sides of the fierce power struggles following the end of the Peloponnesian War. In 406 BC, his name was drawn to serve in the Athens Assembly, or the Ecclesia. One of the three branches of ancient Greek democracy, known as the Demokratia. Maybe, yeah, you're probably saying it better than me.
Or Kratia.
I don't know how you say Greek shit.
Who the fuck knows? No one knows.
So you would like Socrates, TJ. He became the lone opponent of an illegal proposal to try a group of Athens' top generals for failing to recover their dead from a battle against Sparta. The generals were, of course, executed once Socrates' assembly service ended. How convenient. 3 years later, when a tyrannical Athenian government ordered Socrates to participate in the arrest and execution of Leon of Salamis, he refused, an act of civil disobedience that Martin Luther King Jr. would cite in his letter from Birmingham jail. Of course, the tyrants get their way in the end. They were forced from power before they could punish Socrates, but in 399, he was indicted for failing to honor the Athenian gods and corrupting the youth or the young.
Well, you know.
I mean, you can't be allowed to do that.
I mean, the Athenian gods, in Socrates' defense, did suck. Like, they were pretty lame gods.
Pretty jealous and petty and stupid.
Yeah, they had a lot of human failings, you know? I expect higher, you know, if you're going to fucking pledge your loyalty to a god, it should be one that, like, transcends the fucking foibles of human beings.
A god's going to deliver you something.
Yeah.
It's like,
get you a god that's going to do a little something for you.
Yeah, and a god that's better than you. It's like, you don't look at your god and be like, God, my god's really fucking up lately.
It's like,
my god's got more problems than me.
Why worship these petty fucking Olympian, style gods when, you could invent your own god as a wise teacher that stood as a standing fucking example of what it meant to be philosophically devoted and whose life makes an interesting arc and has a great story behind it. You know what I mean? Like, why not lift up a character like Paul. That to worship,
If only we could find such a character, if only one could be found.
Luckily, we don't need to invent it because Socrates is there to truly exist for us.
Yeah, of course.
You're right here.
Although some historians suggest there may have been political machinations behind the trial, he was condemned on the basis of his thought and teaching. In The Apology of Socrates,
Socrates.
Plato recounts him mounting a spirited defense of his virtue before the jury was, but calmly accepting their verdict. It was in court that Socrates allegedly uttered the now famous phrase, "The unexamined life is not worth living."
Socrates, brah. Boom. Examine that life, Socrates.
His execution was delayed for 30 days due to a religious festival, during which the philosopher's distraught friends tried unsuccessfully to convince him to escape from Athens. On his last day, Plato says he appeared both happy in manner and words, as he died nobly and without fear. He drank the cup of brewed hemlock his executioner handed him, walked around until his legs grew numb, and then lay down, surrounded by his friends, and waited for the poison to reach his heart.
Socrates, the savior of man.
Savior of all humanity. The bedrock of Western philosophy.
Inspired Martin Luther King. Inspired so many people.
If there's one thing you can take away from this episode, it is that unequivocally Socrates was a real man who had real thoughts and lived in this life. No parable here.
Parable would be terrible.
In all actuality, I have no fucking clue if Socrates actually was a person or not.
Diogenes was, though. I know that for a fact.
How do you know that for a fact?
I just do. Because I'm super fucking smart, bro.
You know who this balding man is, TJ?
Ducius
Maximus? Julius Caesar.
Glory to Kaiser.
No, this is Ducius, Paul.
This is Ducius.
Another guy that didn't exist but was made up as a parable.
Fucking fraud.
All history is a story. The world began on January 1st, 1988, as all survivors of the War of 1988 know.
Yes.
How did you survive the war being so young, Paul?
Just sheer tenacity and fucking badassery, bro.
Yeah, so I know that's I question that story based on what you just told me. Julius Caesar's forgotten assassin, TJ.
Forgotten assassin.
Yes.
Huh? Okay.
And it's TJ, you've heard this before. Next image, please.
What's going on here? Oh no!
Beware the Ides of March. Beware.
No shit.
On March 15th.
Oh fuck! Is that Brutus?
44 BC. A group of Roman senators murdered Julius Caesar as he sat on the podium at a Senate meeting.
What a bunch of dicks.
I mean, they had a few disagreements with him.
Fucking jerks.
And you, Brutus?
I mean, I can't even believe Brutus is there because, like, they were tight. Wasn't that his boy?
The rest of these scumbags, I expected this from, but you, Brutus, and you. Dude.
Fucking, that sucks. Even Brutus turned on him, dude.
The dictator fell bleeding to death from 23 stab wounds before the horrified eyes of the rest of the house. It was a little after noon on the Ides of March, as the Romans called the midday of the month. The spectators didn't know it yet, but they were witnessing the last hours of the Roman Republic. But who was to blame? As readers of William Shakespeare know, a dying Caesar turned to one of the assassins and condemned him with his last breath. It was Caesar's friend, Marcus Junius Brutus. And Paul, you actually just uttered the line, but it said, "Et tu, Brute."
Brute.
You too, Brutus.
You too, Brutus.
Is what Shakespeare has Caesar say in the tragedy of Julius Caesar. Great play, by the way.
Shakespeare didn't make that up, though. That's actually what he said.
Except Caesar never said these words.
No.
And Brutus was neither his closest friend nor his biggest betrayer, not by a long shot.
What the fuck, Scotty?
Told you. All the world's a stage, TJ, and all the men and women merely players.
All right.
You listen to Shakespeare one too many times, TJ.
This is the same damn bust. What the hell?
The worst traitor was another man, Decimus Junius Brutus Albinius.
He's still got Brutus right in his name.
From
Brutus. Decimus, I believe, was a distant cousin of Marcus Brutus. So they're related.
That guy has every Roman word that sounds like somebody that's going to stab you in the back. Read his name again for me, please. Every word in his name sounds like somebody's going to stab you in the back.
Brutus Albinius.
Albinus,
yes.
Yeah, like Decimus, an albino.
Decimus Junius. Wait, are you saying an albino is more likely to stab you than a non-albino?
I mean, you know.
All right. I didn't even know that I think we just invented a stereotype here, but okay.
Albinism.
But basically, because Shakespeare doesn't mention Decimus, as far as most people are concerned in history, he really wasn't there.
The power of Shakespeare, man.
Well, yeah, it's probably the most famous retelling of the story.
Yeah. They were like, that's how it went down. Shakespeare said it.
How about the next image, please, CJ?
Next slide, please.
Ask me nicely.
Fuck you, TJ. No, go back. I ain't gonna ask you nicely.
There you go. There's the previous image.
I ain't asking you nicely, TJ. I'm telling you.
I already went. I already
telling
did
you, TJ. I want to make a point to you.
Uh-huh.
I'm telling you now. Now, TJ, you have my permission to change the image.
All right, here you go.
A2, TJ. A2.
A2, TJ.
Shakespeare was two men in charge of the plot to kill Caesar. Brutus and Gaius Cassius Longinus.
Longinus. That sounds fucking erotic.
Hey, that was his name. Spankshear. Shakespeare mentions
Decimus. Wait, did you call him Spankshear?
I was trying to say it again.
I don't know. Boner.
I'm sorry.
Quit titillating me with these words.
Perverted shit just sleeps into our brains. Dude.
Spankshear, yeah.
Spankshear, oh yes. So Shakespeare mentions Decimus.
If anyone needs a porn writer name, Spankshear.
Actually misspells his name as Decius.
Ooh.
And downplays his role. So he's just like a part. He's like, he's a bit player.
He's a bit player. He wouldn't fucking do shit.
But often overlooked, ancient sources make clear that Decimus was actually a leader of the conspiracy. So he wasn't a leader of it. He wasn't just.
So fucking Shakespeare not only does him dirty by spelling his name fucking
Decus or whatever.
Yeah, and Decus was there too. But
I don't fucking know his name.
Downplays it like Decus was too fucking stupid to even fucking do this.
So Decimus was actually closer to Caesar than either Brutus or Cassius was.
Fuck.
In fact, they opposed Caesar during his bloody rise to power during one of the Roman civil wars. Only when he started winning the war did they defect to his cause. Caesar pardoned Brutus and Cassius and rewarded them with political office, but he didn't trust them. Well, why would he? Decimus was
enemies
different.
Closer, right?
Yeah, of course. Decimus was different. He always fought for Caesar, never against him. And so he held a place in Caesar's inner circle. So he was actually on the inside.
What a shit bag, man. What a fucking total backstabbing bitch, dude.
He's all like, I got your back, Caesar, bro. Yeah, fucking get him, Caesar.
And it's actually a greater betrayal because these two guys are just, they joined up with Caesar because he won. It's like, oh, he's winning. Shit. Pompey
you
is
can
losing.
You can those motherfuckers and know right away, like, all right, I got to give them some position for like political reasons, but like they ain't really with me.
And I mean, knowing how things was in the Roman Empire, there's a good chance that Caesar and Decimus were sharing more than friendly anecdotes with one another.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Shit.
They might have been giving each other fucking hand jobs behind the forum and
booty
shit.
blasting one another on the daily. You don't know.
Could be.
I mean, the Roman Bacchanal. I mean, come on. The orgy, the decadence of Roman life at this time.
Yeah, you know, there's cock for all at the Bacchanal. As they used to say.
Is that how they sold it?
Yeah,
they got cocks for all at the Bacchanal. Come on down.
Yeah, that's how it was, bro.
TJ, you would have been perfect in ancient Rome.
Yeah.
Decimus belonged to the Roman nobility, the narrow elite that ruled both Rome and an empire of tens of millions of people. His grandfather extended Rome's rule to the Atlantic and Spain, but Decimus' father had a mediocre career, and his mother dabbled in revolution. Can't do those.
Tisk.
Then Caesar came along and offered Decimus the chance to restore his house's name. Oh, man, what a hell of an opportunity. It's like your family is like, look, we used to have something, but now we're middling. A rising star says, come, raise your star with me. Decimus was a soldier at heart, educated but rough and ambitious, as his surviving correspondent shows. My soldiers have experienced my generosity and my courage, Decimus wrote. I waged war against the most warlike peoples, captured many strongholds, and destroyed many places. He did all that, he wrote, to impress his men, to serve the public, and to advance his reputation. All right, Paul, I think maybe you have a point.
Told you. It's all fucking horse duty.
I mean, yeah, to impress his men, I'm sure he did. He really impressed them, especially after the battles. Decimus warmed to Caesar, a great commander and a war hero to boot.
Man, the Greeks, man.
Romans,
whatever. The same shit.
I mean, they emulate a lot of what shit the Greeks did, though.
Pretty much the same. I mean, yeah, they were like a copycat fucking empire anyway.
Well, they basically stole the refinement of Greek culture.
It's fucking great because it's like, you know, first a dude leads you in a battle, then after you win, he sucks your fucking dick, man. It's beautiful. Beautiful thing.
I'm feeling Decimus probably made you blow him, though. I mean, you never know. I won't say for certain.
I mean, I don't know.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
As long as it's going down, Tia don't care. In his mid-20s, Decimus joined Caesar's forces that were fighting to add Gaul, roughly France and Belgium, to Rome's empire. Decimus won an important naval battle off Brittany. I mean, the theory just gets stronger and stronger. And served with Caesar in the siege of Alesia in today's Burgundy that sealed Rome's victory in Gaul. Later, his enemies in the Roman Senate tried to strip Caesar of power, but he fought back. It was civil war, and Decimus chose Caesar. Once again, Decimus won a victory at sea. Throw a thought of seamen at his side. This time, on Gaul's Mediterranean coast. A grateful Caesar named Decimus, acting governor of Gaul, I mean, that's a high position, while Caesar went off to challenge his enemies elsewhere. After 4 more years of hard fighting, Caesar returned to Rome triumphant in 45 BC, with Decimus at his side. Why then did Decimus raise a dagger against Caesar only 9 months later?
Yeah, what a douche.
I mean, that's governor of Gaul.
Sounds like Caesar did a lot for him.
Confidant. I'll go to our next image. It's actually
what the fuck?
A depiction of a Roman triumph.
What's your problem, Decimus?
Actually, that's the Roman Republic. I guess we missed one. Whatever.
The
Roman Republic.
You know how it is.
Many Romans feared the power that Caesar amassed. In theory, Rome was a constitutional republic. Sounds familiar. In practice, Rome teetered for decades on the brink of military dictatorship. Now, Caesar was Rome's first dictator for life, a king in all but name. He even took a queen as a mistress, Cleopatra of Egypt. In 44 BC, she lived in Caesar's villa on the outskirts of Rome. Her young son was, she claimed, Caesar's illegitimate child. All of this was too much for Roman traditionalists. So basically, we got to find a reason to get Caesar out of power. Oh, he's fucking Cleopatra.
He's fucking that.
Which, I mean, who even
Egyptian
knows?
bitch.
Who knows if that's true or not? I mean,
we got to do something about that.
I mean, Caesar certainly could have done that. This is a Roman triumph here, a depiction of one.
Dun, dun, dun.
Why did they make him look like the biggest nerd in the room?
I'm not sure if this is actually supposed to be Caesar himself, though. But this is just a depiction of one.
This is just supposed to like show what it was like, you know?
Oh,
you roll through town, you
like
stand
a nerd
atop
in a
a
gold
fucking chariot,
rolled through town, and you threw rose petals at him and shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, pretty much. And the army marches through the streets and shit.
I got it.
Paul's like, I don't know. They play
harps. Kind of boring.
Like,
I don't really like parades, so it sounds like Roman life was pretty fucking boring, you know?
Not a parade.
I mean, I think the orgy parts is where you'd be more interested, Paul.
Dun,
the
dun, dun.
decadence of the Rome. Probably not this part of it.
Why not?
Well, I mean, he just said he doesn't like pomp and circumstance and parades, and that's all this would be.
Dude.
Now, if people were getting wasted as fuck, then maybe Paul would like it. I don't know. We don't know what the plebs did.
They're definitely getting wasted while they're watching this, right?
I mean, you'd
have to not fall asleep.
Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, back then, though, I mean, life wasn't as exciting.
I guess so. Like, they like. I guess this, like, seeing a purple robed dork in a gold chariot, it was probably like the highlight
that's entertainment.
Of your year, you know?
Yeah, like, will we see Caesar again? Look, he's.
It's like the new Call of Duty is out, or the new World of Warcraft expansion. You know what I mean? You're like, fuck purple, yeah, dude, dork in the purple robe is back.
Oh my god, that's so true. Woo! Different times. But ambition, rather than political principle, turned Decimus against Caesar.
Can't believe it.
I mean, of course.
Who
would have thought that could be the reason? His letters suggest a man who cared more about honor than about liberty. He wanted the distinction of a triumph or a formal victory parade in Rome, but Caesar denied it.
Oh, well, you know, hey, Caesar didn't let him do the purple robe dork thing.
Although he granted the privilege to lesser generals.
Oof. Oh, no.
No doubt the dictator liked to dole out favors slowly to keep his men on their toes.
Oof.
He awarded Decimus in many other ways, but he still felt slighted.
Oh, man.
I mean, of course, didn't give my triumph. I want to come to Rome and be the purple dressed dork, you know, with the fucking.
Yeah, I want I want all the fucking peasants and shit to be forced to fucking act like I'm impressive standing there.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, yeah. Like, throw rose petals at my feet.
Shout adulation in my general direction, Decimus! For I am great.
Decimus, oh, yes.
Oh, Decimus. Oh,
Decimus,
the great Decimus. But Caesar denied him that fucking parade, dude.
Grab 2 fistfuls of my breastimus, Decimus.
What?
Whoa.
I'm just saying that's what he wanted, you know? He wanted people to.
Yeah, and you know what? Caesar denied him that shit. You know what? So now, honestly, now that I've heard that.
So TJ, like, you and I are friends, right? Let's say that like the time is about to come where you're going to get to ride through the city with your segments proudly adorned in purple royal robes.
Everyone has to gather around and act as though I'm resplendent and beautiful.
Right.
Just like, yes, TJ.
Oh,
yeah,
TJ,
so much better than us, TJ.
Yeah. Take some rose petals.
And then I'm like, nah, you know what? That's canceled. TJ, you don't get to do that. Like, how quickly do you grab a knife and put it in me?
I mean,
pretty quick.
You just fucking watch your ass on the Ides of March. You know what I'm saying? You got to watch that ass on the Ides of March, bro.
Then, TJ, there was the rise of Caesar's young grandnephew.
Just let me have the parade. It'll be fine.
Gaius Octavius.
Gaius Octavius?
Only a teenager and no soldier.
Wait, what? I'm sorry. Who is Gaius Octavius? This guy?
Oh, you're about to find out.
Okay.
He went by a different name later in life.
Okay.
No soldier, but a gifted and cunning politician. Decimus could not have liked watching Octavius replace him in Caesar's esteem.
Oh, shit. He's getting jealous, too.
Yeah, oh, yeah, of course. Another possible influence on Decimus was his wife, who came from a family that was opposed to Caesar.
Yeah, that'll get, I mean,
the chips are falling where they may.
That'll fucking happen, you know?
You're weighing the scales of like, should I stab this guy in the Senate? I
was like, he didn't even let you have your triumph. I think, you know, you need to fucking stop putting up with his shit and stab him.
Governor of Gaul
in the Senate
is one thing, but not even a Roman.
Governor of Gaul is not enough. You deserve to be emperor, Decimus. You deserve to be fucking emperor.
You know that other General Claudius? He got one. Him? What? You know, of course, that
gave Claudius a parade.
I don't know who he gave a fucking triumph to, but whatever. In winter of 44 BC, Cassius originated the conspiracy to kill Caesar.
Well, you know how it is.
Like Decimus and Brutus, Cassius belonged to the nobility. So it's like we're seeing some sort of trend here in these people that are opposed to Caesar.
It's very odd.
It was a professional soldier like Decimus, but also an intellectual like Brutus. A man of action, Cassius inspired Brutus to move. Brutus was no soldier, but he was a philosopher and orator and much admired in Rome. Decimus joined the plot as well, as did more than 60 prominent Romans. As a past master at ambush...
That's some crazy shit. Getting together with like 60 other powerful people and be like, all right, this new leader ain't working out. We're going to have to fucking do some pretty drastic shit, you guys.
Well, they had no mechanism with which to remove Caesar.
Right. There's no impeachment process or anything.
He'd become dictator for life. I mean, at first he was dictator for 10 years, and it was like, okay, I'm just dictator until I'm dead. And I mean, the Roman Republic had existed for, I think that time, like 600 or 700 years. I mean, quite a while since there had been no kings in that part of the world. And we had a kind of a fledgling, republic, democracy. It was elements of democracy. And now suddenly to be under the yoke of military dictatorship, which had been close. I mean, they had kind of brief, kind of skirmishes within Roman society. They had a general named Sulla who was basically leader of Rome, but just for some reason at the end of his life, just gave it all back, gave all the power back that he could have probably passed on to somebody else. So you have to understand that Rome is a very different place at this time. And this is kind of like, it's finally... The military dictatorship side is kind of won. Like the side of the elite is like they've kind of been defeated, and they almost feel like, oh, the poor, the plebs that really makes up Caesar's base of support, they're going to be in charge now. So we got to do something. As a past master at ambush, Cassius might have come up with the plan to surprise Caesar in the Senate. Decimus, however, made the wheels turn. Of all the conspirators, only he had Caesar's trust, which is an important element to the story. All these other people, you have to remember, Caesar's kind of like, oh, yeah, we're buddies. I like you.
Caesar knows they got knives for him.
Yeah, he knows that ultimately they do have the cloak and dagger waiting for Caesar. Caesar even had Decimus at his side at a dinner party the night before his assassination. On the morning of the Ides, Caesar suddenly decided not to go to the Senate meeting, probably because of rumors of conspiracy.
Rumors? I think they were a little better than rumors.
Kill Caesar. Caesar. They might try to kill you in the Senate. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go. Just a rumor, though. Maybe not.
Just you know how rumors are. The rumor mill, it do turn.
I don't know. Maybe Caesar, they're going to kill you. Maybe not. I don't really know. It's not quite true that a soothsayer warned Caesar to beware the Ides of March, as Shakespeare says. In fact, the soothsayer warned Caesar a month earlier to beware a 30-day period ending in the Ides of March. That is the time from February 15th. To March 15th.
So if he just waited one more day,
But TJ, the Ides, it finally come.
Oops.
The next image, please.
Fucking Ides, bro.
The Ides.
Dude's got a booger.
Dude, look at that.
This is actually Decimus here, I believe.
Yeah, what a dork. Now I know why he killed Caesar. What a nerd.
Got a big old booger hanging out of his nose, dude.
Well, I mean, hey. He probably wanted his likeness to be accurate if he had a big ass booger.
He's got a crescent moon shaped booger just dangling out.
Or is that like a long ass Hitler stash?
Yeah. I don't know. Super Hitler.
Was when they heard about anime eyes too.
I know. He's like fucking Jesus Christ. They're like this fucking big.
Yeah, he's not a great looking guy. Not a great looking coin either. Not like an example of some coin you're like, oh, wow, it has like the Roman eagle on it or something. Just has some ugly, deformed-looking dude on it.
Yeah.
When they heard about Caesar staying home,
Douchimus,
the plotters sent Decimus to Caesar's house to talk him into attending the Senate meeting after all.
Yeah, basically just like, I'm not going to that. They're going to kill me. And Decimus was to do this. And like, no, dude, it's fine.
Yo, Cassius and Brutus, they love you, bro.
It's all good, bro.
They want to chill with you after, man. It's going to be great.
We're going to work a lot of this stuff out, man. There's a lot of aggression floating around out there. And this is like the perfect time to address it.
Decimus, of course, did his job. He changed the dictator's mind, and Caesar went to the meeting, where then, of course, he was murdered.
Well,
I mean, hey, all's well that ends well, huh?
Oopsie doopsie.
I mean, it was pretty dumb for Caesar to go to that meeting, though.
I mean,
like Decimus shows up, like, yes, dude, it's going to be so chill. Don't even worry about that. No, nothing like that's going on.
Well, it's like,
Well, I guess if Decimus says it's okay.
It's like they say in Goodfellas, like, you know, you get whacked. It's like your best friend that comes to kill you, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, so you don't really, you're like, oh, okay, it's my best friend. They're not going to fuck me over. And then, of course, they do. Same deal here. Afterwards, Decimus provided security to the killers. He owned a troop of gladiators who dealt with a private police force. That's convenient. It's always good to have a private police force you can just call upon to protect you. They escorted the assassins to safety on the Capitoline Hill and guarded the perimeter during the 10 days that followed. At first, the Roman people supported the assassins as defender of constitutional liberty, but they changed their minds when they saw the strength of Caesar's supporters. Decimus came in for a particular
changed their mind when they saw them. Yeah, and then the fucking supporters come out of the
liberty, and they're like, "Fuck liberty, Caesar!"
Yeah, they're like, yeah, Caesar. tyranny.
Hey.
Caesar fucking forever, bro.
Hey, why not?
I love tyranny.
I mean, who doesn't?
Everyone loves it. It's very sexy.
And of course, Decimus got some of the worst criticism because, I mean, he was really close to Caesar.
Right.
Like the other guy is like, look, we get why they did
even
it.
if you support the assassination of Caesar, Decimus kind of comes across like a pretty big prick.
Yeah, and who's really going to trust him after that anyways? Like,
Right.
Decimus, you're kind of a piece of shit. I mean, like, look, we did want to get rid of Caesar, but you betrayed Caesar.
Thanks for helping us get rid of your best friend, but you fucking stabbed your best friend in the back, so none of us really trust you either, so.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Decimus soon left Rome to lead an army in northern Italy and defend what he saw as the cause of the Republic. So basically, it sounds like Decimus was like, you're being sent away. Although he started out strong, he was soon outfoxed by Octavius. Named as Caesar's heir and adopted son of Caesar's will, Octavius first allied with Decimus and then turned on him.
Ooh.
A year and a half, after the Ides of March, Decimus was abandoned by his soldiers and captured by his enemies and executed. A year later, Brutus and Cassius lost the battle and committed suicide. Ooh, man. It seems like having the dictator in power might have just been a better play for you guys. Octavius, by contrast, continued on his bloody rise to power and eventually ended up as Rome's first emperor. Eventually, he went by the name Augustus Caesar.
Origin story, bro.
Yeah, you got
it.
If Decimus was so important to Caesar's assassination, why is he any better known? In part because Brutus monopolized favorable publicity. His friends and family polished his image. Polished his image in publications after his death. Later, Romans looked back on Brutus with admiration and laid the groundwork for Shakespeare's eulogy of Brutus as the noblest Roman of them all. Not so with Decimus. Unlike Brutus, Decimus was no wordsmith, nor did he have admirers with literary flair to tell his story. Yet his role does appear in certain lesser known ancient accounts, although Shakespeare made little use of them. So kind of an interesting bit of a history with this tale. Because I mean, obviously,
Decimus.
I think most people,
history's forgotten douchebag.
most people know, oh yeah, Brutus done killed Julius Caesar. That's how it went. But
Get to Decimus.
definitely involved. But now the death of someone. So Paul, will you also say this person did not exist?
This person clearly did not exist.
No,
So I'm just asking.
dude, look at a picture of Michael Jackson from 1980 and tell me this is the same person, bro.
Oh shit, dude, you got me there. Or are you saying that Michael Jackson never existed, though? That's the question.
I'm just saying that this is not Michael Jackson.
Okay, but
This is
did Michael
Jackal
Jackson ever
Maxon.
exist? This is Jackal Maxon, huh? The death of Michael Jackson, or Jackal Maxon, as Paul would say.
The death of Jekyll.
Michael Jackson died suddenly at the age of 50, and at least in basic terms, we know why. As established during a 2011 trial that convicted Jackson's physician Conrad Murray of involuntary manslaughter, the superstar died of a fatal cocktail of medications in his system, and most notably an excessive amount of surgical anesthetic, propofol, that Murray administered and that Jackson frequently used to help him sleep. I can go to the next image, TJ. Some of this information comes from this book, which is a sensational book, if we're being honest. I mean, the title alone shows that.
Like sensationalist, you mean?
Sensationalist, yes. 83 minutes, the doctor, the damage, and the shocking death of Michael Jackson confirms all this in great detail, delving even more deeply into the events that occurred between the time Murray left a heavily drugged Jackson alone in his bedroom and the moment Jackson arrived at a gurney at Ronald Reagan UCL Medical Center, where he would soon be pronounced dead. But the scope of the book covers more than, just the events of his death. Authors Matt Richards and documentary filmmaker Mark Langthorne, a former music industry manager, have not written a book that really has any huge bombshells in it. It's just a very meticulous book that takes testimony and evidence from the trial and kind of pieces all these things together very painstakingly to kind of give you a picture of what Michael's life was like at that time. From his basically days when he was on top till the end of his life, is kind of known that Michael Jackson was not doing well financially, obviously due to his excessive lifestyle and spending. And this is from a part from the book. As far as Michael Jackson was concerned, January 27th, 1984 was the beginning of the end, referring to the day that Jackson suffered third-degree burns on his scalp while filming a Pepsi commercial. You guys may have seen that before. It's like Michael Jackson's hair basically catches on fire.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. According to the book, initially published last year in Britain, the singer was in such pain that he took Percocet, Darvocet, and during his subsequent scalp treatments, large amounts of Demerol, all of which kickstarted decades of dependence on narcotics. That dependence, coupled with financial difficulties, which compelled him to agree to a demanding string of performances in London in 2009. So basically, like, Michael Jackson was going to do this big comeback tour because he really needed money, and there was huge interest in him performing because he's Michael Jackson. Even if Michael Jackson is obviously
I think we covered in a previous episode just like the level of demand for the level concert.
The level of demand was insane. It was like sold out and sold out and sold out and sold out. Let's just put it that way. Dr. Conrad Murray was not, nor ever would have been, suited to be the caretaker of a complicated patient like Michael Jackson, the author state. And from the moment they met, their fate was sealed.
Brutal.
Pull up the next image, please, TJ. This is a magician, Ed Alonzo, who was actually basically present at the actual last rehearsal Michael Jackson did in his life. So he said that Michael Jackson arrived at the Staples Center around 6:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on Wednesday, June 24th, 2009, the day before Michael died. Michael Jackson, he shows up there. He just kind of jokes, "Oh, I've got laryngitis," and actually did not end up rehearsing until about 9 p.m. Alonzo had this to say: he looked great, had great energy. The rehearsal actually went well past midnight. The next morning, Jackson did not come out of his bedroom. Jackson's physician, Conrad Murray, next image, please, TJ.
This guy here.
Yep. Entered the room that afternoon and found Jackson in bed, and he was not breathing. He had a very weak pulse, but he still felt warm to the touch. Now, this is actually where the story gets kind of crazy. I don't know how much, Paul, you probably are well aware of this because I know you're a big Michael Jackson fan. TJ, are you well aware of kind of the story about what happened with Michael?
Not really.
Okay. So Murray tried to revive him for about 5 to 10 minutes, at which point he realized he needed to call for help. So keep that in mind. You find someone unconscious, not really breathing. So he's a doctor, though, so he tries 5 to 10 minutes to revive him. But at the same time, you figured he'd been like, call 911, right?
Mm-hmm.
Murray stated that he was hindered because because there was no landline telephone in the house. He also said that he could not use his cell phone to call 911 because he did not know the exact address. He stated that he phoned security, but got no answer.
Uh-huh.
Murray ran downstairs, yelled for help, and told a chef to bring security up to the room. Murray's lawyer stated that at least 30 minutes passed before security made the phone call to Los Angeles Fire Department. And they can actually have confirmed the call came in at 12:21 p.m. And they arrived about 5 minutes later and found that he was still not breathing. So just keep that in mind when you're going through all these events. He's a doctor, and it's 5 or 10. He comes in, finds him 5 or 10 minutes there. Oh, we can't call 911. There's no landline phone. Oh, I don't know the address of this house for some reason.
I don't know the address. This is happening.
Oh, I can't get in touch with security.
This is ridiculous. I mean,
so it's more and more time when someone's life is hanging in the balance is just being wasted on nonsense. Statements describe Murray as using a non-standard CPR technique on Jackson. The recording of the emergency call was released on June 26th, one day after Jackson's
What is a
death.
non-standard CPR technique? Like he just hit him or something?
Well, it describes a little bit more.
Okay.
It described Murray administering CPR on a bed, not in a hard surface such as the floor, which would be standard practice.
Hmm.
So he shouldn't. He said they're basically saying they should have done it on a hard surface and not a bed. Murray said that he placed one hand underneath Jackson and used the other for chest compression whereas standard practice is to use both hands for compression.
Well, he's a doctor, so there's no way he would know that, right?
Yeah, why would a doctor know how to resuscitate somebody? Shocking. Especially, he's actually a cardiologist, by the way. Paramedics performed CPR for 42 minutes at the house. Murray's attorney said that Jackson had a pulse when he was taken out of the house and put in an ambulance. An LAFD official gave a different account stating that the paramedics found Jackson in full cardiac arrest and they did not observe a change in his status en route to the hospital. So basically, I mean, he was just dying at the time. LAFD transported him to the Ronald Reagan UCF Medical Center. The ambulance arrived at the hospital about 1:14. A team of medical personnel, of course, tried to revive Michael Jackson. That obviously did not work, and he was pronounced dead at 2:26 p.m. at the age of 50.
So basically, and correct me if if any part of this is wrong, this doctor basically just took a cushy role on Michael Jackson's staff as his official drug peddler.
Yes.
And administrator.
Conor Murray was nothing more than a drug dealer.
Because basically there was probably tons of money in it. He knew it was unethical.
He was Michael Jackson.
He
stepped away from his practice to do this job.
Right.
So Michael Jackson was his sole client. So
right.
Yes.
So he was working full time for Michael Jackson. Is basically just I will write any prescription you want. I will administer any drug you want.
Well, yes.
And then
he have to. Yes.
And then one morning when he finds Michael Jackson dead, he freaks out, runs around like a chicken with his head cut off for 30 minutes because he's trying to fucking figure out some way to protect his own ass.
Yeah.
And as a result, Michael Jackson, it probably gave him maybe he would have still died anyway. But
I mean, completely unethical as well. I mean, giving someone like this all these drugs. So actually, pull up this article from the BBC that shows all the drugs in the system at the time of death. This is a big focus here, propofol, which is a general anesthetic that basically puts you to sleep during surgery. So propofol is a fast-acting hospital sedative administered intravenously and used before anesthetics. It was first widely used in the late 1980s. The drug, which Conor Murray gave the singer to help let him sleep, made by the pharmaceutical company AstraZeneca, is also sold under the brand name of Diprivan. Experts say propofol is an extremely powerful and not meant for outside hospitals and clinics.
Right.
So,
and it's definitely not meant to just help you sleep.
No, it's completely unethical. They used it for this reason. Propofol was referred by Michael Jackson to as milk because of the milk-like appearance.
Give me some milk. Can I have some milk so I can go to Never Neverland again?
Oh, sure, Michael.
Conrad. Oh, Conrad, please get me my milk.
It's oh, no.
The Razapam.
Yeah.
Conor Murray told police in 2009 he gave Michael Jackson other drugs known as benzodiazepines, which are widely used as sleep aids. Well, I added that part, which are also used as sleep aids. But when they did not work, he claimed Jackson demanded propofol.
Give me my milk.
Which is crazy that someone would know basically what to ask for in that circumstance. But
that's the whole thing is Jackson demanded a drug that probably nobody knows exists unless they've already abused it. This dude gave it to him. He was like, let's try some of this and see how it makes you feel there, Michael.
Of course, yeah.
This guy is just a glorified dealer.
Yeah,
he really is. It is widely used as a sedative and muscle relaxant. Michael, you need to relax.
Yeah.
Midazolam, which is using a similar to Diazepam, is widely used as a sedative and to treat seizures. Yeah, it sounds like Michael Jackson definitely needed that. Diazepam, that's also an anti-seizure medicine, I believe, as well. It's anti-anxiety. Yep, it does seizures.
Yeah, anxieties and seizures.
Yeah, they administer that if you have a seizure. You can get that sometimes to help you stop. Lidocaine is a local anesthetic sometimes used to treat skin inflammations. It is widely used by dentists to anesthetize patients' gums. So basically it numbs you. And epinephrine. Was also found in Michael Jackson's body. Ephedrine, sorry. Is widely used as a appetite suppressant and stimulant.
So this is just this guy's got a cocktail of drugs that just coursing through his system.
He's basically got half of a pharmacy in him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this motherfucker at the same time has lorazepam.
He has 3 different
midazolam, diazepam, lidocaine, and ephedrine in his system.
Anytime you see any of these drugs that end in Pam, those are benzodiazepines. So he's on typically people are on one of those, like Xanax is a benzodiazepine, Klonopin or clonazepam is a benzodiazepine. He's on 3 different benzos
and propofol to go to sleep.
Right.
I mean, ephedrine, like you said, lidocaine injections.
Yeah, and the propofol. I forgot about the propofol, which is probably the strongest one.
I mean, he gets, look at that, 155 milligrams of propofol shipped. So he had like just tons of this shit on hand for Michael, so he could just drip him to sleep every night.
Yeah, there was a lot of sensational shit, like in media coverage I considered pulling, but it all just felt like very exploitative. So I didn't really pull any of that. And in lieu of that, I pulled a bunch of shit about conspiracy theories.
Cool. The craziest conspiracies that surround the death of Michael Jackson.
I mean, of course, when you're someone as famous as Michael Jackson, you die. Like, you didn't just die.
I love it.
You know, you don't just get to die. Like Elvis doesn't get to just die.
What's going to be number one? I hope it's going to be, okay, his daughter thinks he was murdered by unnamed, nefarious people.
This happens with almost any super famous person as they were murdered.
They were murdered.
Elvis
Murder most foul. Elvis lives. What are you talking about? In 2017, Paris Jackson gave an interview to Rolling Stone magazine alleging her father being murdered. She said she didn't know who was behind the act, but indicated it was a calculated move to off the king of pop. Some online conspiracy theorists question whether she was pointing to a group like the Illuminati. Dun, 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 dun. He didn't sign his own will.
Evidence. Because
most people will never get a look at Jackson's will, will never really know who, what, or if anyone actually signed the will that specified that his estate should be looked at by his lawyers.
Blatant, like, what ifism here. You know what I mean? Like,
of course.
Yeah, we're too good for this.
We'll never see Jackson's will, so literally anything could be on it. A satanic symbol. You know,
his business associates worked him to death. He was
worked to death.
This actually might be kind of true. I mean, it sounds like he was pressured financially into going on this big tour.
He definitely was.
And then he
was
did
also
this drug cocktail to fucking be able to.
You have to remember too,
let his body handle it.
That Michael Jackson, I mean, definitely had mental issues. So I mean, he was definitely someone that'd be ripe for.
He's also the one who squandered his own fortune.
That's what I'm saying. So like, and he needed the money desperately. But I mean, it's hard to know how much Michael Jackson would have realized those things or not, knowing him and knowing that like how his.
And of course, this is the truest one. He lives.
He's still out there.
This is the standard conspiracy of any dude who dies.
There is something. He's alive. The last part of this episode is going to actually shed a little more light on that one.
Did he beat it on his own? Is this a masturbation thing? What's going on? What's that? What happened? Suffering from extreme body dysmorphia. Blah 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 blah. What I don't even understand this one.
The Illuminati.
Yeah, the Illuminati killed him. Yeah, that's kind of the first one too.
I like this one.
Jackson was a product of MK Ultra. Dun 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 dun.
MK Ultra did it to Michael Jackson.
MK Ultra. Every good den of conspiracies needs at least one MK Ultra reference.
Yeah, if you can't tie something to MK Ultra,
if you can't tie it to MK Ultra, at least get COINTELPRO involved. Did Michael Jackson clone himself prior to his death?
I don't know.
Yes, he did.
Could be. Federal agents murdered Michael Jackson.
Michael knew too much.
He knew too much about what was really going on. Michael Jackson was an immortal ancient Egyptian princess.
Why would federal agents bust in to kill like a sickly dude that's...
Here you go. In 2015, an alleged federal agent came forward with one of Michael Jackson's final phone calls where it seemed like he was aware of a plot being carried out to take his life. According to the alleged agent, Jackson had been part of something called Operation Sedgwick that was formed under Ronald Reagan in order to control the African-American population through music. Yeah, and the conspiracy that goes on to assert that the agents who tracked and killed Jackson also took out Tupac, who was brought into Operation Sedgwick sometime during his appearance as a backup dancer in the Humpty Dance. Some people believe that Jackson wasn't meant to be killed by the government and that he was taken out by accident after he overdosed. Maybe the agents felt like they might as well do their secret agency stuff while he was under. Put this theory in the maybe pile.
Yeah, definitely a maybe. Who knows?
Hard maybe on that one.
That's a strong maybe right there.
Maybe for sure.
I mean, this one, Operation Sedgwick, dude. That's some fucking serious shit.
You guys think that's bullshit? How about this? Michael Jackson was an immortal ancient Egyptian princess.
Yes.
That looks like him right there.
I mean, how else do you explain this?
Nefertiti, dude.
Look at that.
Michael Jackson was a fucking pilgrim.
Yeah. You could spot Michael Jackson all throughout human history. Okay?
He was on the fucking Mayflower, Paul. It was my MJ, dude.
He was on the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. All right, here you go. Michael Jackson alive.
Guys,
gets out of
This is the most compelling evidence you're ever going to see. Michael Jackson could still be alive.
He's there. Oh, yeah, he's there.
Do you guys doubt it?
I don't doubt it.
I asked you to watch this video. Okay.
Hold on, check this out. Ambulance. I see the ambulance.
This is an ambulance. This is a coroner's vehicle.
Okay, ambulance. Well, it says ambulance in the fucking.
Oh yeah, that is a coroner vehicle right there. Yeah.
Okay. And people said they have traced this to the same one that Michael Jackson was taken away in. Who gets out, TJ?
Ow!
Michael Jackson, dude.
And there's the license plate right there, so you can fucking check it out.
Damn, dude.
Michael, are you okay? Are you okay, Michael?
I mean, what's the other explanation for that footage? If not exactly that.
Michael Jackson is alive. That was him.
I mean,
jumped out of the back of a coroner's van. I mean, like, come on, man.
I mean, it's fucking like, what are even?
Look, Michael Jackson was tired of
this isn't even a conspiracy anymore. We just saw the evidence that he is clearly still alive.
He was tired of living this lifestyle. Everyone's thinking about him all the time. Look, they still talk about Michael. He's like, look, the only way for me to live a real life, fake my own death, get the government in on it. They'll be a part of it because they know I'm like they're ruining my life. I'm already rich. I'll go off and just spend my quiet years, living in fucking the Northwest or some shit.
Dude, he's got a song about that shit where he's talking about leave me alone, stop it, just stop dogging me around, dude. It is all about how the media is always attacking him. And dude, wait a minute now.
What?
Let me see this shit again. I want to watch that shit again.
All right. Well, I don't. Okay. I'm telling you though, look, this is clear-cut evidence here. So you can slow this down a little bit.
Again.
Yeah, slow-mo. You want me to slow-mo it?
Slow this down so people can see
Let's watch it one more time in normal, then I'll slow it down.
I want people to see Michael Jackson get out. All right, this is coroner van.
Coroner.
It's definitely a coroner.
They open it up.
All right. Come on out, Michael.
And Michael Jackson just walks in. Why would someone need to jump out of the coroner van, TJ?
Let's just, hold on.
Okay. Go ahead.
Play this at half speed. That is how Michael Jackson would get out of the van.
Yeah. And it looks like he's dressed like Michael Jackson would have dressed, like the kind of baggy shirt and tight pants. He's got like long black hair.
That is a coroner van.
Why would somebody jump out of that fucking van, dude?
Michael's still alive, guys.
Look, I mean, like, this is clearly some kind of fucking facility here, too, because, like, you see that there's, like, a gate that's, like, closing.
I mean, yeah, it was just some random thing, like, L.A. coroner, and it looked like it was...
When did this video surface? Did this surface immediately afterwards, or was this, like, a year later when someone would have had time to fake it?
Take it off a full screen, and let's look at the upload date and shit.
Yeah. I think, look.
It's August 26, 2009. What day did he die?
I mean, that had to be right around when he died.
I believe he died in June 25th or June 26th, 2009.
So it's like 2 months later. Yeah, I mean, that is enough time to fake it.
So look, TJ, I'll tell you right now.
Tell me, Scotty. Tell me.
June 26th.
So 2 months later, this video surfaces, right?
Yeah, 2009. Yep.
What does it say in the description, dude?
But I mean, that's when they uploaded.
No sooner had I uploaded the Michael Jackson alive in helicopter video than someone sent me this video. It appears to Michael Jackson getting out of an ambulance when it arrives at the rear security area of the coroner's office.
I guess it's a helicopter video.
Check out the helicopter video. Let's just check.
Whoa.
Videos. Damn it. Where's the helicopter video?
Sorted by fucking most viewed, dude.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Alive in helicopter. Go up, TJ.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is right there.
Outside the hospital, Ecuador, hardening celebrity death, and helicopters buzzing overhead constantly, so I'm not that good at spotting which one of the medical ones. Outside the hospital, Ecuador, hardening celebrity death.
What are we supposed to be seeing
here?
They transported after he died by helicopter, or actually was still alive. He was transported for his autopsy from that hospital. That's what you're looking at. But obviously we're seeing Michael Jackson is alive and well.
I'm not that good at spotting which one are the medical
Was that
ones.
supposed to be him hanging out of the door?
No, he's in the back.
No, he's in the back.
I
You
can't
can
see
him.
shit
He's
back
in the
there.
red. He's right there.
So I'm not that good at spotting
Michael Jackson's
which one
alive.
are the medical ones.
I mean,
Outside the hospital,
I mean, maybe he's died since then, but at this time, Michael Jackson
he didn't die in 2009. I'll tell you that. And you know what? We've seen him in the 15th century. We've seen that he was an ancient fucking Egyptian princess. I mean, I
he
think
was a
that
pilgrim.
Michael Jackson is clearly an immortal being that just reinvents, his or her or whatever appearance.
So I do have to
Every so often.
apologize. I did have to. The last one I did have to lie about Michael Jackson is clearly alive and well. This helicopter.
Yeah, so this
shows
doesn't
it.
even belong in this episode, Scotty.
I mean, I had to cover it.
It's not even a real death.
I mean, the public believes he's dead, TJ. So
All right.
is that enough? Is
I
that
guess
enough?
that's true. When the legend becomes, whatever. Anyway, is that done, Scotty? Are we done?
It's done,
Do we have
TJ.
permission to go away?
Yeah.
Is that done?
Yeah.
Done episode?
It's done.
You know what, Scotty? I'm going to be very generous to you. I'm going to give that episode a D+.
Thank you, TJ.
D+ episode, Scotty.
D plus.
Very good. D+.
Appreciate that.
Best
TJ.
episode that you've done yet.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, Scotty, I'm going to have to rescind your D+ for the episode. Turns
Damn.
out that was only 54 minutes. You didn't pull enough research.
Dude, so we magically have changed clothes just so we can look like it's a different day, where it's definitely not a different day. We're recording-
Yeah. We decided to do it. We decided to all go change clothes really quick, and then
I think we were
continue.
feeling sweaty. We were feeling very sweaty.
Yeah, everything was very
It
sweaty.
is
It
a
gets
hot
in
and
this room.
sweaty. I'm out west and we're having that fucking heat wave
Yeah,
out
you're
here.
you're in
The
the
heat dome, dude.
You're in
Yeah.
the midst of a historic heat wave over there.
I mean, it doesn't really change the way that the weather usually is where I'm at, but
Right,
everybody
'cause
else
you
is
were already-
experiencing the same thing that I'm used to, that I grew up in. So
Yeah, you were already in
moisture.
a pressure cooker of a place.
Yeah.
So
The Central Valley is not known for being balmy in the summer.
yeah.
So
But anyway, Scotty had to, in a mad dash, collect more research to tell you about just a couple more deaths, right, Scotty?
more death.
Who we starting with?
I think you
Starting with
might recognize the guy.
this
TJ.
guy here. By the way,
It's,
Michael Jackson is definitely still alive, just in case anyone's confused.
Any
on
question
that point.
about that? Yeah, this is old Galen. It's actually
This guy does bear a resemblance to Galen. I think it's the immensity of his head
I think that's what it is. I think
and the
I think the
eyes
glasses
being all close to the front and shit.
very
I don't know. I see it, but only
unyielding
vaguely.
eyes.
Only vaguely. It's a vague.
I've definitely seen dudes
sees
in
it in the
history that
eyes.
cut a more Galen-esque figure, but there is some Galenism going on for sure.
Yeah.
So if you guys don't know who this is Leon Trotsky.
Trotsky.
He was one of the central figures of the Russian Communist Revolution in 1917 and the founder of the Red Army. After Lenin's death, Trotsky opposed leadership of Joseph Stalin and was exiled from the USSR. While Trotsky was in exile, Stalin put together a show trial that convicted Trotsky of trying to kill him. Of course, the old
Everyone loves the good old sham trial, dude.
the kangaroo court.
The trial that's nothing but a public spectacle to justify whatever you're about to do to somebody.
Thank goodness we
Naturally.
don't do those anymore.
No.
Now it's only it's only
yeah.
fair trials for
Join
us.
us on Edward Snowden. Oh God, I'm sorry.
Yeah, fair trials
Yeah,
from now on.
of course.
It's always going to be good.
Saddam Hussein.
What? Oh, what's that?
Well, I mean, overseas we still do them, but here domestically at least,
So he actually settled in Mexico City's leafy, and I'm probably going to butcher this, Coyoacan neighborhood, and held court with Americans and Mexican supporters, as well as carried on an affair with painter Frida Kahlo, which I did not know.
That's
Read about her
cool.
life a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a factoid that I vaguely remember.
Good taste, because I love that bitch's unibrow.
Both
you want to devour
very anti-
Frida's unibrow?
both
Oh,
very
yeah.
anti-capitalist, though.
Would you lick
for
it?
sure.
Yeah.
You'd lick the unibrow?
Oh my God, yeah, dude.
Would you
I don't know what it is.
Would you bust a nut on the unibrow?
Hell yeah.
Bust a
yeah.
unibrow nut.
Oh my God, yeah.
And they did that while organizing the Fourth International fight against both capitalism and Stalinism.
You know what a cool thing about her too is she just like would paint endless self portraits. So
She was also in a horrible bus accident.
Oh no,
she was.
Is she all right?
Well, no, but I'm talking about back in the day.
Yeah,
and then
she was crippled by it.
She learned to paint like
she's like long dead now, right?
Well, yeah, Frida Kahlo was long dead.
Yeah,
she's been dead. DJ.
That was the joke.
The unibrow lives on though.
Yeah, it does. It's always eternal.
The unibrow. Next image, TJ.
All right.
These guys just chilling. Trotsky and Stalin.
Trotsky looks. I mean, Stalin. I mean, they're not actually here with each other. This is
no, this is photoshopped together.
But if we knowing what I know about Stalin being very short, this makes him look like he's like 2 feet tall.
No, I don't think either of these were big dudes. Because Stalin was what, like 5'3" or something.
Yeah,
Stalin was a really short.
Stalin was short as fuck. Which was a shocking fact when I learned it.
5'3" of pure Chad, though.
I always thought Stalin was like, whoa.
Well, that's because he's fucking boom. He's depicted as a giant statue looming over, St. Peter's Square and shit. That's how you know Stalin.
I mean, he was made larger than life. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Trotsky, though, he looks like a soy boy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he may have been out of Stalin's sight, but of course he was never out of his mind. Because, I mean, of course, Stalin's thinking like, hey, as a group, these people were all in exile before the fucking communist revolution. If something happens to me, how easy will it be for Trotsky to come back? Obviously, he's doing the calculus in his mind.
Right.
As the outspoken exile continued to castigate his foe, Trotsky was found guilty of treason by a show court and, of course, condemned to death. How convenient.
Of course, yeah. Makes perfect sense.
So, look, this is actually the house he lived in Mexico City.
It's not bad.
I see how they say leafy. It does look very leafy there.
I like it.
Yeah. Nice little pad he had. So on the early morning of May 24th, 1940, a group of 20 gunmen stormed Trotsky's walled compound to carry out the sentence of death. They sprayed the house with bullets, but missed their target before they were forced to retreat. The political pariah's bodyguards, mostly young American Trotskyites, expected the next attack that would come from a bomb, so they heightened the compound's exterior walls, bricked over windows, and added watchtowers with money provided by wealthy American benefactors. Thanks to the efforts of our North American friends, our peaceful suburban house is now being transformed week by week into a fortress and at the same time into a prison, Trotsky wrote to one of his backers. So they increasingly had to make this place because, I mean, like, obviously if 20 armed gunmen show up, like if they go to like, it's like about like the end of Scarface. If that happens to you and you survive, you got to take your security pretty seriously.
Dude, what I want to know is who were the based fucking Americans that were financing Trotsky's fucking fortress in Mexico, dude?
Yeah, good point.
I think we know those are probably people that want to see the fall of the Soviet Union, if more than anything.
Yeah,
Jane Fonda
might just be trying to fucking rub some dirt in Stalin's eye by fucking supporting his opponent.
Accidentally based, then.
Yeah, accidentally based America.
Based enough, right?
There might have been some actually based ones in there.
Yeah, there could have been, of course.
I know Frida was based as fuck. Like, she was...
Oh, yeah.
Frida and her husband, on again, off again husband. I always forget his name, but he's another
painter,
almost
too.
as famous as she is. They were both, like, super revolutionaries. Like, anti-government, pro-communist.
Yeah. Dope.
They were for sure. Now, nearly 3 months later, as the hunted man scattered food for his pet bunnies in August afternoon, his guards continued work connecting a powerful siren on the roof where they noticed a familiar face at the compound's gates.
Oh, no.
This could be.
He's just trying to... So, fucking poor Trotsky's just out there trying to get food for his little bunny rabbits.
Yeah, little bunnies, just chilling in Mexico City.
And someone shows up.
Frank Jackson had been a frequent caller in recent weeks. The boyfriend of a Trotsky confidant from Brooklyn, New York, named, you can show her picture, TJ, Sylvia and Hilda Egoloff arrive. This is basically them arriving in New York. Sylvia is actually the one on the right.
Okay.
That's her. Sylvia Egoloff, Jackson was thought of as one of the family by the guards. So they're like, okay, this is someone who's really close in the inner circle. They're cool. They can come in.
Wow. Just like Caesar, man.
Hey, I mean,
can't trust that inner circle.
How do you think
bullshit.
you get to people? Yeah, that's the inner circle, of course.
This is an example of the old Trojan horse theory.
Well, it actually goes even deeper, as we'll find out.
Okay.
Along with a raincoat folded over his left arm a strange choice of clothing on such a sunny afternoon in Mexico City. Jackson also carried an article that he had written and asked the revolutionary leader to review. Trotsky led the visitor to his study. Suddenly, Jackson pulled out a pickaxe with a short handle from inside his raincoat and buried it in its sharp steel tip into Trotsky's skull.
Damn.
Here's Trotsky on his deathbed here.
Damn.
It's like, yeah, hey, Trotsky, what you do with this article I wrote, man? It's like, oh, okay, let me take a look at that. Pickaxe to the fucking skull, bitch.
But this is the interesting part. Although bleeding profusely, the expatriate managed to grapple with his attacker as guards rushed into the study.
Not such a soy boy after all, I guess.
They found a dagger hidden in a secret pocket of Jackson's blood-splattered raincoat and an automatic pistol in his hand.
Wait, what? He had a pistol, but he chose to open with the pickaxe?
That's cold-blooded.
Yeah.
Well, he probably wanted, like, hey, I fucking literally killed them. Shooting somebody is like when you stab somebody, there's something more personal to it because you're really super close.
What
to
is
them.
it? You can't even can you call it a stab when you fucking swing a pickaxe into someone's head? Is that even still a stab? That's
he fucking destroyed him in a way. He killed him. He made him cease to live. TJ, whatever you want to say, he split his head open.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it. Of course, the bodyguards disarmed him and began to beat him with the butt of his pistol until Trotsky implored them to stop. Do not kill him. He must talk.
I mean, what do you think he's going to say? He's going to tell you. I mean, it's fucking Stalin.
For all the preparations to prevent an attack from outside, it ultimately came from within. After being rushed to the hospital along with his assailant, a conscious Trotsky at first appeared to be doing well after emergency surgery. The following day, however, he suddenly slipped into a coma and died on the evening of August 21st, 1940.
He died fucking pretty good, man. He
at least he gave
stuck
some
around
back,
there. Yeah, he stuck around. He managed to put up a little bit of a fight. He didn't fucking just dead,
I am dead.
Because in the movies, anyway, you get a pickaxe to the head, you pretty much die on
You're
the
dead.
spot.
Yeah, you crumple.
You don't fucking keep moving around and fucking give people hope that maybe you're going to pull through,
Maybe I got this still. I mean, in his case, they kind of thought he did for a day. They're like, all right, he's going to be fine. And then it was like coma death.
You can't kill Trotsky. And then, you can't.
I guess you can. Just 2 doors down on the hospital floor, another drama was unfolding. The battered Jackson had been carrying a confession letter, presumably to be read in case of his death, in which he claimed to be a disillusioned Belgian Trotskyite named Jacques Monard, who attacked his former hero because Trotsky had refused to bless his intended marriage to Egoloff and tried to force him to launch an assassination plot against Stalin. Distraught at the assassination, Egoloff confirmed Jackson's real name was Monard, but unbeknownst to her, that wasn't his true identity either. So there's another level here.
Oh, shit.
The relationship had been a complete ruse, part of a Stalinist plot to kill Trotsky that had been years in the making.
He was a spook.
Yep. The assassin's real name was Ramon Mercader, a Spanish communist recruited by the Soviet intelligence agency NKVD during the Spanish Civil War. Posing as a Belgian playboy, Monard, the handsome Mercader, began to seduce Egoloff after meeting her in Paris during the Fourth International meeting in 1938. So this is years in the making. The Stalinist agent followed her to the United States the following year using a passport of Frank Jackson, a Canadian who had been killed in the Spanish Civil War. When he convinced Egoloff to move to Mexico City, the spy used her ties to Trotsky to gain access to the compound and earn his trust. Mexican authorities sentenced Mercader to 20 years in prison. Although the Soviet government denied responsibility, Stalin secretly bestowed the Order of Lenin upon the assassin. So, yeah, we didn't know anything about it.
Damn.
But
I don't even know. What?
I don't really know, but let's give you the medal, the Order of Lenin. You got the Order of Lenin.
The Order of Lenin is upon you, my comrade.
Because you did good deed. Yeah, of course.
You killed that pest Trotsky, yes.
And if you don't even want more confirmation, a year after his 1960 release, Mercader traveled to Moscow and received the Hero of the Soviet Union Award.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they didn't know anything about it, but after he does his 20 years, he goes and gets an award in Moscow. The assassin split his time between Cuba and the Soviet Union before his death in 1978. Trotsky, who became one of the millions of Stalin's victims, had his ashes interred under a large monolith engraved with a hammer and sickle in the garden of his home in Mexico City.
Thank you for taking care of that little Nat Trotsky, my comrade. I make you hero of Soviet Union.
Even though I have no idea what you do and why you do it.
It's kind of beautiful, right? Kind of a pretty thing.
I mean, like, if TJ was a fucking dictator, he would definitely, like, give the fucking TJ Medal of Valor to anybody who knocked off one of his little annoying gnats. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, you killed that guy? All right. The
Good
TJ
job.
Medal of Honor.
Good job, comrade.
You have assassinated Scotty. I have no knowledge, but you get Order of TJ anyways.
I will no longer hear that fool Paul's ego speak that crazy nonsense into my ear anymore. Thank you, comrade. I make you hero of Tejonia.
The last one we have is Marie Curie. Marie. Now, this is a Polish name, so I'm about to butcher this middle name.
Sklodowski.
Sklodowska Curie was a Polish-French physicist and a chemist who discovered radioactivity and the methods used to isolate radioactive isotopes.
She didn't really discover it, though. Her husband did, right?
No, she was instrumental.
She's a woman.
She was instrumental to it as well.
No, women don't fuck.
She was like his like kitchen helper in the lab.
Yeah, as we see her in a lab right now.
Maybe something, maybe like one.
Well, yeah, we see her in the lab because he was like, "Hey, Mary Curie, fucking bring me the goddamn shit I need to actually do some work." And she's like, "Okay, hon." She's like picking it up and bringing it to him.
She's bringing him a fucking look. She's got some
tequila.
She's
I'm putting this in my memory bank. So next time Paul does Eclipse of Steel, we'll pull this. We'll put this part in front of anything he says about being supportive of women.
No, you won't. That's not allowed.
Oh yeah, he's like,
that's not.
We're not allowing the truth. We're not allowing the truth.
You're playing dirty pool now.
How am I playing dirty pool, Paul? No one forced you to say it.
You're fucking playing dirty pool, man. You're holding me to account for shit that I've done said after I already said it.
I can't believe it. Why would I do that? She and her husband were jointly awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1903.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
And she received a Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1911.
She got, like, from what I remember, Scotty, not to correct your research, she got a Nobel Prize-let.
Yeah.
Prize-let?
Yeah. They invented a Nobel Prize-let and gave her that.
Okay.
Because she was a science-lit. You know what I mean?
A science-lit?
A science-lit. Yeah.
Let.
Okay.
Science lit.
I thought you said something else.
Not a scientist.
Tell me how she did.
She was a scientista.
Oh.
This is a case of what you love kills you, TJ.
Yeah.
What killed Curie was the very thing that she devoted her life to. She suffered many ailments due to exposure from radiation, including cataracts that rendered her nearly blind. In 1934, she died from aplastic anemia, a rare bone marrow disease caused by radiation.
Yeah, I guess when you fucking work with radiation in the fucking early 1900s before people really understand what the fuck, that's probably going to happen.
There's a museum somewhere in Europe dedicated to Mary Curie and her husband. And a lot of the instruments there, they have to be kept behind radiation shields because they're still radioactive to this day in a way that would be harmful.
We didn't really realize it. I mean, some people did, but no one really realized how the dangers of radiation until the 50s and 60s when people were really started dying. We've covered in episodes where they had the radium girls, the machines they would use for beauty.
Oh yeah, that was fucking wild. I remember that shit.
So I mean, radioactivity was not understood. It was like, oh, it's cool, and then it was like,
get rid of that unsightly hair by bombarding it with radiation.
By the way, cancer.
It's like, oh, yeah, I guess that is one effect, but there's others, you might want to consider.
Well, we got some other ones, but I think that's for next time because you know what? I think we've done this bullshit long enough, and there's plenty more famous deaths where that came from. So,
really?
Yeah, there's plenty more.
I thought that was every famous death there was.
Oh, you thought that was all of them?
Yeah, I thought that was everything.
Well, TJ,
there's at least 3 more.
There's 10 more.
10. 10 more. I'm hearing conflicting reports here. I don't know.
Well, Paul doesn't know about the secret deaths.
Yeah, I don't have the secret.
The Easter egg deaths.
Yeah, there's an Easter egg deaths, Paul. Okay. I found them.
Wow. Tireless research of Scotty, ladies and gentlemen. All right. See you guys later.
Big fat pride. deep fat fried.